Hey guys, this is my new Reason mixing template, new and improved for Reason 11. I think it's the best Reason template out there. It's the best I've ever made because it takes advantage of some of the cool new features in Reason 11, and I can't wait to share it and show it with you. I hope you find this really to be helpful. I hope it speeds up your workflow and makes you have better sounding songs. If you've got any questions, just leave them down below. If you've never used a template before, please let me know. I'd be interested in seeing how this changes your world. Also, if you'd like me to make other types of templates, please leave a comment below and I'll be sure to take that into consideration. Hopefully, I've got something that can work for you. So, if you want to download this template, it's totally free. There's a link down below. Just click it and get running. If you don't know how to use a template, then I've included this video in a playlist, and the next video will show you how to install and get started with templates. But what I really want to just do is talk you through this template and how to use this specific one and show you some of the cool features that are loaded into it. Okay, so like I said, this is a Reason mixing template, and so it's intended to be used, well, if you can guess it, mixing. And so what we've done, working from left to right, is created individual tracks for the bass, the kick, the snare, the toms, whatever. These are the things I use most often, but you can tweak this as you see fit or rename everything. And then like all of the drums are now routed to the drum bus and color coded. And you've got the drum bus here, and then you've also got a parallel drum bus, which has specifically for it a pulverizer that does just a nice little squishy, great sound that you can blend in as you see fit. You've got all these regular and parallel channels, and you also have an effects bus, which is where all of these effects are routed to, color-coded easily. Then they all go to this main bus, which has the master bus compressor on it, tweaked to be able to have a high-pass filter on it. And then that goes to the master channel, which just has a simple maximizer on it for now to protect you from clipping, but it's not intended for mastering. So let's take a deeper dive into this. To make this work, what you're going to want to do is take your finished song, click File, and bounce mixer channels, and then you'll have a bunch of audio files. You'll drop, in your first session, you'll drop those audio files into these slots here on the sequencer. So you drop the bass into the bass, the kick, etc. And then I've gone ahead and done something that I think is really helpful. So using the blocks section here, I've created little markers for various parts of your song, so you know exactly where you are when you're mixing, right? If you want the bridge to be longer, there you go. Or, the intro, and this helps you really figure out where you are in your song at a glance when you're mixing, which saves you a lot of time when you can just jump right and forth, back and forth, especially because Reason doesn't allow you to use markers or anything useful like that. So let's now dig into some of the features of these channels, what we've got going on. Also, we've got the delay compensation on. So there's nothing on any of these channels because I figured you'll probably be mixing around what's in them, and maybe you've already put processing on them before you export it. Maybe you haven't. But then on the bus channels, they're pretty much empty aside from the parallel buses. So on the bass parallel bus, I have a scream with my favorite scream setting for bass, just a bass ace. You can mix a little bit of this in for a crispy, crunchy, punchy edge. Similar, I just showed you what's on the drum bus. The rhythm bus, the lead bus, and the percussion bus don't have anything on them. You notice I've also narrowed the stereo image for the bass, so it sits nice and small there in the middle. And then when it gets to the effects, this is where it's really cool because you can send, your bass bus, whatever, to effect one. The names are all listed out here. So you've got room reverb, you've got a plate reverb on 2, a delay, a saturation, and a chorus. These are the default ones, but you can change it to anything else. You can add more. And then what I've gone and done is chosen my favorite settings for each of these. So If we look at the room reverb, I've done ambient oak, which is my favorite, and dialed in some of my settings. And I've also applied a stereo imager after it to sort of widen the sense of space in the room. And I've dialed in the old Abbey Road EQ trick where we take off some of the top, take off some of the bottom, make it fit a little better. For the plate reverb, I've just done the plate and cut off the low end because I think with the plate, partly the high end is important, but you can dial it into taste. And also not doing any stereo imaging because I think plates are supposed to be a little closer, which is why we keep the high end. I've done my favorite echo here, no EQ processing. And then for saturation, we've got a tasty little scream on the 70s lo-fi, just a fun setting to add to some of your tracks. And we've got a quartet chorus here for any chorusing you need to do. Maybe this is the famous Juno chorus. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's really useful on synths and strings. So that's how it's organized. And I would totally recommend that you then go ahead and tweak this to your own taste as you use it and get experience with what you'd like. But I think this is a great starting point for your songs. You could also, start throwing in combinator patches that you like on these channels. Whatever you want to do. I think this is a great blank canvas template for Reason. One other thing I wanted to show you is so everything ultimately flows into the main bus here. All of these are routed to that. And on the main bus, what we have is a combinator patch where everything is being sent to the master bus compressor. So I would recommend using the one here instead of the one up in the mixer. And then you have the ability to turn on a high pass filter, which will make it so that the kick drum doesn't trigger the compressor, and that'll give you sometimes a smoother, less pumping sound. Sometimes it sounds good to have, sometimes it doesn't. It's up to you. And you can also dial in the threshold, the ratio, attack and release, all of that with these knobs here. So that's a really quick and easy way to get a great sound on the master bus. Thank you so much for watching and enjoy.